Hollywood is entering a new age. One part red carpet, one part server rack. AI can now write, cast, shoot, and even remake movies. At the Toronto International Film Festival, you could feel a split-screen future. Filmmakers making passionate pleas for human craft, while tech founders pitched an industry that makes 1,000 movies a year with machine help. Tonight, we're stepping inside Hollywood's AI civil war. What's real, what's hype, and where this story goes next. In premiere halls across Toronto, filmmakers doubled down on the human touch. Director Richard Linklater and Ethan Hawke talked painstaking rehearsal for a dialogue-dense musical drama. Nia DaCosta spoke about reimagining Ibsen through lived experience. Paul Greengrass premiered a nerve snapper about a real bus driver saving kids in California's Paradise Fires, shot in breathless, human-scale style. None of them needed to say AI out loud. Their work argued for them. Human nuance is the point. Guillermo del Toro at a gala. We live in a world that wants to tell us art is not important, that it can be done by an app. We cannot allow that. Across town, another future beckoned. Largo touted virtual audiences to test movies before they're made. Jenny showed how documentarians can push a button and spin up reenactments with Google's latest video model. And Luma AI laid out a blunt thesis. The studio of the future only survives by massively increasing output. Think thousands of titles a year, by swapping physical sets for synthetic scenes, extras for generative crowds, and pickup shots for text prompts. This isn't just a creative debate, it's a legal earthquake. Warner Bros. Discovery is suing the AI image generator Midjourney, alleging it enables mass reproduction of DC and Looney Tunes characters without permission. Other studios have similar complaints. It's about control of iconic IP and whether scraping and training on copyrighted imagery crosses the line. Meanwhile, AI firm Anthropic has tentatively agreed to a $1.5 billion settlement with authors who say their books were ingested without consent, a landmark signal of how costly training data can be when it's not properly licensed, even as the court wrestles with what counts as fair use in the training process. Beat. In short, Hollywood's business model and Silicon Valley's training model are colliding in real time. Classic film restorations, AI reenactments, de-aging, full-on synthetic scenes. Showrunners' internal experiment to reconstruct missing Orson Welles, the magnificent Ambersons footage. Archival photos of Welles, headlines about lost footage, a tasteful concept recreation. The Sphere in Vegas with its AI-enabled Wizard of Oz reformat, towering LEDs, audience awe shots. Even heritage is on the table. One startup proposed using AI to restore 43 minutes of missing Orson Welles footage, sparking backlash from the Welles estate for being mechanical and unoriginal. In Las Vegas, the Sphere unveiled an AI-enhanced Wizard of Oz, a dazzling reformat with modern cameos that raised eyebrows about authorship. The subtext is clear. If AI can convincingly recreate the past, who decides where homage ends and revision begins? Automation won't just touch the gee-whiz parts, it's coming for the unglamorous everyday production grind, storyboard drafts, location comps, crowd plates, marketing assets, ADR polish. That means new jobs, prompt artists, simulation supervisors, dataset stewards, and displaced ones. Who gets credit? Who gets paid residuals when a model trained on thousands of performances creates a new one? That's the fight creeping from sound stages to guild halls. The stakes are not just economic. Outside some AI labs, activists launched hunger strikes, demanding a pause on bigger models. They warn of cultural flattening, that will swap lived experience for algorithmic averages. Technologists counter, these tools can democratize filmmaking, cut costs, and empower new voices. Between them lies a question for every studio and every artist. What kind of culture do we want to mass produce? Here's the practical truth on set right now. AI excels at previs, shot planning, concept art iterations, background elements, continuity fixes, quick localization, and marketing variants. AI struggles with performances, tone, and the micro-choices that make scenes feel lived in, breath between lines, a glance that changes a scene, a handheld wobble that tells the truth. Humans still carry the soul of a shot, but the assembly line around them is getting very mechanical. Why will studios try? Because a mid-budget film crushed by marketing costs looks different if background plates are AI, pickups are synthetic, extras are generative, and every trailer auto-adapts to 30 markets. If those levers cut costs by 20–40%, the temptation is irresistible. But every dollar saved could mean a job lost, or a credit disputed. Over the next 12 months, watch 5 signals: court rulings and settlements on training data and character likeness, especially studio lawsuits against AI firms and author cases that define fair use at scale. Guild contracts, new clauses on data rights, synthetic performances, and residuals for AI-derived work. Studio pipelines, quiet rollouts of AI for previews, crowds, trailers, before bolder synthetic scenes. Festival reception. Do audiences detect and reject AI-heavy storytelling, or does it pass the vibe test? Box office versus bandwidth. If AI enables 1,000 films a year, does abundance lift all boats, or drown attention? Cinema has always balanced invention and intimacy, electric light and human eyes. The AI factory is here and it's revving. The question isn't if Hollywood uses it, it's how, with consent, credit, and craft, or with a copy-paste culture that forgets why stories matter. What do you want from the movies? Faster and cheaper, or fewer and deeper? Tell us below. And if you value creative reporting like this, hit subscribe. We've got a lot more to uncover.